Good afternoon and welcome back to session 3 of Create and Use Spreadsheet. Hi, my name is Yin. In the previous session, you learned some intermediate and advanced Excel skills. In this session, I'm going to take you through entering data, selecting the data, produce simple chart, modify the chart, group and ungroup, conditional formatting, and maybe protect and unprotect your worksheet. Review, finalize the spreadsheet. We will be working at normal speed. Don't worry, you can replay and restart the video as necessary. By the end of this session, you should be able to have a greater understanding of how to produce simple chart and finalize the spreadsheet. Great. Now let's click on the Start button and click on the Excel icon and open a new blank workbook. Now that we have all opened a blank workbook, I would like to draw your attention to the bottom of the page where you can see there Sheet 1. Now workbook is made out of many worksheets. If you click on the plus sign, you can add many more worksheets, Sheet 1, Sheet 2 and Sheet 3. And you can also rename the sheets by double clicking it. So let's double click on Sheet 1. And you can rename the worksheet. So all these worksheets combined will form a workbook for you. Okay, now in order to work around on charts, we need to have some data. So let's try and enter some data, and if you could follow and do the same on your spreadsheet, let's begin to put in some data. Great, I will give you some time to finish entering the data. Right, now that we have all finished entering the data, let's highlight the columns to fix the column width. And that one, and that one. Now let's have a quick check for any spelling mistakes. It all looks good at this point. And the next thing I want to show you is you can actually put borders around the data and form it into a table like that. And you can do the same here horizontally and the same here. And the rows. It looks like that. It looks a lot tidier. Now the next thing I would like to show you what you can do with your data here within the C5 and E8. So if you click anywhere within the range, and if I can get you to click on the tab data on the green bar, you will be able to see the group. Click on the group What I'm trying to show you here is you can actually group and ungroup your data. So by clicking on the group button, Excel prompts you, what do you want me to group? Do you want me to group rows or columns? Let's just stick with rows. So you can see here, by doing that instruction, by carrying out that instruction, Excel has given you an extra outline here. So if you click on the minus sign, you can see that the row has jumped from 5 to 7. So row 6 has been grouped for you. So if you click on the plus sign again, it removes the group and it brings back your data. Now the other thing that I wanted to show you is you can actually share your worksheet as well on the top right hand corner here, where you can share with multiple people. And if you were to be sharing with multiple people, it is a good idea to protect your worksheet. This is just only a small worksheet, but imagine if you have got hundreds and hundreds of rows and columns, it becomes very cumbersome to try and keep track of changes. So you can actually protect the worksheet by making sure that the people that you're sharing the worksheet with is not going to be inadvertently disrupt your worksheet flow. So let's try and click on the review tab on the green bar on the top, and you can actually click on the protect sheet, and it has automatically selected for you by default to lock the cells and to select unlock the cells. So let's stick with that and click onto that. And you can see that if you try to change the figure 855, it comes up with a warning message telling you that it's protected and you cannot change anything there. So if you click on the unprotect the worksheet, and it removes the protection, and people can change the data within the worksheet. So the other thing that I would like to show you is let's select your data range from C5 through to E8. So C5, select through to E8. And if you click on the home button and go into the styles group, click on the conditional formatting. And here Excel gives you several recommendations and suggestions, and you can see that the word rules have been used many times, and that is self-explanatory. Conditional formatting allows you to set your own rules, however easy or however complicated you want it to be. But for now, let's just click on the color scales. Within the color scales, you have a palette of colors. As you can see, as I scroll along, the colors changes. The first one has a color green on top and the darker red at the bottom. And if you scroll around the next row, you have the blue color on top and the red color on the bottom. Let's just select the first one, which is green and red. And here you can see conditional formatting. It is a useful tool for you, particularly when you want to analyze your data. From here, you can visually see the green color being the highest value, and the color that is moving towards the darkest red tells you the lowest value, and that is 109. So from the table here, you can spot the 970 and 109 straight away. So it can tell you can gather straight away that the highest value within your data range is 970 and the lowest is 109. Right, so now you have learned how to enter data, check the data, conditional formatting, protect the sheet, grouping and ungrouping. So let's now select the data. Let's do this. Select the data from B4 through to E8. So B4 through to E8. Select. And let's go on top of the green bar and select and click on the Insert tab. Here we want to go into the Charts group. As you can see, there are many different types of charts that you can select and use. Let's just select the bar chart and the simplest 2D form. By doing that, you can see that Excel has automatically inserted the chart for you onto your spreadsheet. Let's move the chart to just below the data label. Now what I want to show you here is to try and change the chart title. Let's click on the chart title and give it a name. Let's call it Sales 2017 to 2019. Now click on the border and we're going to try and change the font size from 14 to say 12. Here you can change the font size to as big as you want or as small as you want. Let's stick with maybe 12 for now. And you can further format that, and let's put bold, and let's change the text color to black. Now it stands out a little bit. So within the Excel chart, let's double click back onto the chart area, and by doing that it brings out a new ribbon. As I scroll along, you can see how the bars change patterns. So let's select this one with the darker background. And we can further modify the chart within the chart area. Let's say I want to change the bar colors. Let's click on the blue bars and go onto the Home tab and to the fill color, and you can see you can change it to many different colors. So let's say I want to change the blue bars to green, and I also want to change the gray bars to something else. Let's go back to the fill color, and you can see we can select whatever color you want. Let's try yellow. Now the chart looks very colorful now. Let's click back onto the chart area, and next to the chart area on the right hand side there are three little boxes that are the elements boxes. Now depending on your Excel version, you may not be able to see these three element boxes. Not to worry, if you cannot, keep watching and listening and you will still be able to see the modifications within the chart. So for those who can see, click on the plus sign. Here it gives you a lot of suggestions of what you can add and take away from the chart. Let's click on the data labels box. By doing that, Excel automatically plonks all the actual figures onto the top of the bar, so that it's easier to figure out what's the figure. Next, let's try and click onto the data table. And what it does is Excel has extracted this table and plonk it onto the graph. So the graph is actually looking very good. So now let's click onto the filter box. Here the options is broken down into series and categories. Let's try and deselect the series by unclicking the select all in the series. As I scroll down, you can see into 2019, the chart picks up only the bars related to 2019. And if I scroll down to 2018, the orange bars are highlighted, and 2017, the yellow bars are highlighted. Now let's do the same thing with the categories. Let's deselect all. By clicking onto the select all, you deselect. And again, if I scroll down to product A, you can see within the chart, it highlights only product A. And if I move to product B, only the B and C the same. And if I go on to D, it highlights only the product D. So this is a very powerful and effective visual tool. And it's a very cool tool, particularly if you are presenting your spreadsheet report to your team members or to a group of people in a meeting room or to your manager by your desk. It is very useful and it is very easily visible. You will be able to tell and analyze and comment which year gives you the highest sales and which year that gives you the lowest sales. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is how to review and preview and finalize your worksheet. So let's go up onto the green bar and click onto the File tab and go down to Print. So here you can see you have a preview to review your work. So it's looking pretty good and very colorful and tidy. So if you are going to be delivering it by paper to your audience, your reports, it is all ready for you to print as is. So you can print as many copies as you want and deliver to your audience. Now, if you so choose to deliver via digital, or you can just send your file to your audience, you can scroll up to the Save As on the green bar here on the left, and here you can try and save your document safely. I will recommend that you save it to your PC and save it to your desktop for now without any data loss. So once you've done that, once you click onto the desktop, a screen pops up and prompts you for a file name. So you give it a name, and before you click save, just check to make sure that the path is correct. It's PC, desktop, your file name, and then click save. So if you go back to your desktop, you will be able to see the save file sitting on your desktop. So there you are. You have got your spreadsheet and chart. You have learned to enter and select data, create a simple chart, modify the chart, review and finalize your spreadsheet, the print layout, and the 2 different methods of delivery to your audience, and how to save your file. And the extra tips on conditional formatting, sharing your worksheet, protecting your workbook, etc. So this is where I'm going to leave you. I hope that all the skills that you have learned so far throughout the 3 sessions will help you in your journey on Excel spreadsheet. Happy Excelling, and thank you for your attention.